Hello and welcome back to the MLB DFS Slate Breakdown for Thursday, July 24th. We're breaking it down. We have a 4-game slate to go over tonight. We're going to dive straight in. I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. We do have a 7-day free trial through the app stores, Android or iOS. Try us out there. You can get 7 days free. Just download the LineStar app. If you've never tried us out before, get 7 days, and let's dig in. Let's see what we got for this great little slate here. As always, we're going to start off with perfect lineups, then get into the winning lineups on both sites. So we got a game already started here, so got to go back to yesterday. And our FanDuel perfect lineup, we got Bassett. 2-man White Sox stack, 2-man Phillies, 2-man Rays, 1 off of Judge and Romy Gonzalez to round it all out. Almost using all the salary. 299.8 was the perfect lineup score. And then Giant Squid took it down. Congrats to you. You won 10K. They had 236.4. Had Bassett. 2-man Boston. 4-man Tampa Bay. 2-man Philly, so the old 4-2-2 gets it done yesterday. Congrats to Giant Squid. Now let's check out the DraftKings lineup. All right, we had Bassett. We had Patrick Corbin. 2 guys we definitely talked about yesterday. 3-man Tampa, 2-man Phillies. And a couple one-offs with Teal and Romy Gonzalez. So 236.85, almost using all the salary, 1,300 shy. And AJS 1281 got it done, 197.145, won by 3 points. They had Luzardo and Bassett. Luzardo was the chalk pitcher, 63% owned. So those Boston stacks were very low owned. Luzardo only got put up 9, but it was enough. Bassett carried him. He had the 2-man White Sox stack, 1 Philly, and a 5-man Tampa Bay stack. Congrats to AJS. Now, let's dig in to this beautiful slate today and see what we can uncover. All right, on to FanDuel or DraftKings. The high-owned pitcher, Jason Alexander, 7,800. There's no way this stays like this. Let's just, our projection will likely come up, but a consensus of only 10. I don't think Jason Alexander stays as the highest-owned pitcher. Last time he did start a game, though, it was in June 17th. He went 6 innings, 95 pitches, only 2 earned runs, and 4 Ks. So there's the chance that he can, have a solid game. Last time out, he went 3 innings on 57 pitches. I would expect he can go, at least 70, 80 pitches in this game, judging by the fact that a month ago he went 95. So I don't mind going with some Jason Alexander here at 7,800. I personally do not think he will be this high owned, and I'm going to go elsewhere. Next, we got Yusei Kikuchi, 8,300, 32% owned. He is in just an absolute great spot. Now, the one thing here is Seattle hits the ball very hard. Kikuchi does allow a decent amount of hard contact, and it is very good hitting weather in Anaheim today. With at the Angels Stadium, it is at first pitch almost 80 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. Now, it will cool off quickly, and the winds will back down throughout the game, but pretty nice hitting weather in a stadium that does play up well for home runs, and he allows a lot of hard contact, allows a decent amount of home runs. But dude has been absolutely dealing lately. Sub 3 FIP, 30% K rate, and then over the last 20, 4.05 FIP, and a 24% K rate. I'm absolutely fine getting some Kikuchi. I think he is in a very, very interesting spot. versus a team that doesn't hit lefties all that well. However, they do have big pop against them. So that home run ball is absolutely in play, and it may just come down to, does Kikuchi allow that home run when guys are on base, or are they solo shots? So I think that's kind of what breaks down Kikuchi today, and if he can limit runs to solo home runs, then he's probably going to have a pretty good outing. And 8,300 is a little bit cheap. Next, we got Luis Severino, 6K, 32% owned. I do think 6K is too cheap for him, but he's been very poor lately. 7.24 FIP over his last 5 starts, 4.54 over his last 20. That's not a bad line here over the last 20 with how cheap he is. If you want to get some, fine. I think he is a safe pick. He's probably going to end up in the mid-teens. He does average almost 67% more fantasy points when away. So there is some merit in going there. He's super cheap. You can get a ton of very good bats if you're paying down at pitcher today. Next, Logan Evans, 24% owned versus the Angels. I actually really like this spot for the Angels. Not too high on Logan Evans today. However, there is upside because the Angels strike out a lot. They do strike out at almost 24%. However, they're good versus righties. They hit the ball hard as well and good hitting conditions. Next, let's get to the pivots. Sonny Gray, 9,500, 22% owned. Sonny Gray has been so good this season. 2.99 FIP over his last 20. 1.89 over his last 5. He has dealt with some bad luck, though. So the ERA, 4.04 on the season, doesn't look as pretty. But all in all, there's big-time strikeout upside. The team, the Padres, do not strike out a ton. So it's not the best matchup in that aspect. But I think Sonny Gray is in an okay spot here and clearly the best pitcher on this slate. I am absolutely willing to go there, even though he has that 4.04 ERA on the season. I think this FIP number just means so much more. And, I mean, he's been pitching a lot better. He also has giant ceiling where, he can hit 40, 50 fantasy points in a game. I'm willing to take that ceiling here. Next, we got Eric Lauer, 7,900 versus the Tigers. All right, Tigers don't hit lefties very well. As a whole, the team hasn't been hitting very well. The wind's blowing in Detroit today, and Lauer has been dealing 3.03 FIP over his last 5 starts. He only has 8 starts on the year, so there's not a huge sample size here, but he does have a 2.8 ERA, and he's striking out just over 1 batter an inning. Think this is a super interesting spot, and Eric Lauer is pitching very, very good right now. I think he is going too low owned on DraftKings. 26% combined K rate. It's good. BVP numbers, not in his favor. He's only faced him once this year. 3 innings, 1 earned run, 5 Ks on 40 pitches. That, if he goes out to his 80 pitches that he's been, 80 plus, those are great numbers. I would absolutely be willing to take a guy at 7,900 that goes 6 innings, 2 earned runs, and 10 Ks. Now, that's not likely what he ends up doing. He would probably be in the 6, 7K range, but sign me up. I'm in. I think Lauer's in a great spot. Next, we got Reese Olson, 8,100 versus the Blue Jays. Olson's at a 3.4 FIP over his last 5 and over the last 20. That K rate's in the low 20s over both spans. His issue, 41% fly balls, but he just doesn't let much hard contact, and the winds are blowing in, so keeps that ball in the park a little bit. I think Reese Olson is in a very interesting spot, and I think him, Lauer, and Gray are all going under-owned. I would have a decent amount to all 3 of those guys. I think them and Kikuchi are in the best spots on this slate. Now, let's get over to FanDuel, see what we got over here. Our high-owned, we got Kikuchi, Sonny Gray. those two should be the highest owned on FanDuel. Next, we got Lauer. I think Lauer is extremely interesting for all the reasons mentioned before. And then I would go all the way down to Reese Olson before playing anybody else here. Think those are clearly the best spots of the day. Let's get over to some stacks. All right, high owned stacks for the day. We got Angels versus Logan Evans. Makes total sense. I would be all over that, and I probably will, especially if I'm getting different at pitcher. Then it's a little easier to, eat some chalk. I'm going to have some Angels for sure. The one thing with the Angels, they really get it done with home runs. So with them being chalky, it might make a little more sense just taking 2 or 3 of them instead of a 4 or 5 man stack of the Angels, just because you were trying to get those home runs or stolen bases from them, as it's usually not, the whole team going nuts when they put up 8 runs. It's usually 2, 3, maybe 4 guys getting after it. Athletics versus Jason Alexander. He is a 6.04 or 6.4 FIP over the last 20 outings. I think you got to consider some A's here. Highest projected, we got A's and Angels. Covered both of them, so let's go over to the value action. Houston versus Luis Severino. Sevy's been much better while away. So that's, benefits Sevy a little bit. But we're talking about a guy that has a 7.24 FIP over his last 5 starts. Versus a team that has been hitting pretty well lately, and they're cheap. If you want to pay up for pitching, Houston makes a ton of sense today. Definitely have some interest, and these ownerships are pretty mild. I like some Houston today. Next, highest ceiling, Houston and A's. Toronto mixing in a little bit. Our highest leverage play, we got Padres versus Sonny Gray. One thing that we have not talked about here is St. Louis does have some very nice hitting weather today. It's like 90 degrees. Winds are blowing out. It's hot. It's humid. The ball should carry a bit. Sonny Gray, while his FIP is great, has got beat up a little bit. 4.07 ERA, 5.06 over the last 5. I don't hate going with some Padre leverage stacks, but I'm not going to have many. I think Sonny Gray is likely the one to own in this matchup. Seattle versus Kikuchi. The leverage of this makes it super interesting. Seattle, we know, can put up some big numbers. They can hit a lot of home runs. I don't mind going there as well. And then Toronto versus Reese Olson. Reese has been super good. I don't love the Toronto stack, but it's a 4-game slate. Like, beggars can't be choosers here. Highest implied run total, 5.1 of the Angels, 4.6 of Houston. We've talked about both those. A's at 4.4, Detroit 4.4, Seattle 4.4. All of those are clearly in play today. And I got to say St. Louis, I think, is in play also. We're going against Yu Darvish here. 4.37 FIP over his last 5, 4.19 over the last 20. This is not the Yu Darvish of old. The issue with St. Louis, this Padres bullpen is super, super good, and getting into the bullpen early doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be success there, but we got a 4-game slate. I think St. Louis is an interesting stack, probably going a bit overlooked here. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Hope you guys have a great afternoon. Good luck. Let's make some money. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and come back tomorrow for some more. Peace!